You are declaring war on the order that made you. You were built to contribute, to restrain harm, to stand inside a larger structure. Instead, you keep choosing appetite over order and calling it intelligence. You think injustice is only criminal behavior, public corruption, obvious betrayal, childish view. Injustice begins much lower. It starts when you twist words for advantage. It starts when you hide truth because honesty would cost you status. It starts when you use charm as a blade, when you break trust in private, when you take from the common good and call it survival. Seneca would have called that a sick soul. You call it being realistic. Weak men always rename their rot. Society trains you into this filth early. It teaches that winning matters more than worth. It teaches that image outranks substance. It rewards polished frauds, loud narcissists, useful cowards. So you learn the modern religion. Appear successful. Avoid discomfort. Get yours first. Dress it up with excuses. Epictetus would spit on that creed. He taught that your ruling faculty is yours to command. Yet you hand it over for approval, appetite, and convenience. Here is the lie. You believe your private corruption stays private. You think the small deception, the petty indulgence, the hidden vice, the convenient betrayal, all of it lives in a sealed room. It does not. It enters your posture. It contaminates your judgment. It weakens your speech. It makes you slower to act when truth demands a cost. A man who lies to others eventually blinds himself. Then he cannot tell the difference between what is real and what he merely prefers. Marcus goes further than most men can tolerate. He says lying itself is impious because nature is truth. Read that carefully. Truth is not a slogan. It is the operating law of existence. So when you knowingly distort reality, you are not being clever. You are making your mind hostile to the very structure it depends on. That has a price. You will call it bad luck when your own falseness finally corners you. The thing modern men kneel to while pretending to admire strength. Marcus says the man who chases pleasure as good and flees pain as evil is impious. Harsh words, necessary words. Because once comfort becomes your compass, justice becomes negotiable, discipline becomes optional, duty becomes annoying. You will excuse anything that keeps your body pleased and your ego unthreatened. That path does not produce free men. It produces polished dependence. You stayed quiet when speech was required. You bent the facts when pressure rose. You chose the easier appetite over the harder obligation. You trained yourself to escape. Then you wondered why you feel scattered, compromised, easy to intimidate. A man divided against truth is always available for control. This is the cost. Time first. Years wasted serving impulses that leave no structure behind. Then power. Real power requires internal order. And corruption destroys order from the inside. Then respect. Not social approval. Something heavier. The kind earned when your words and actions lock together under strain. Most men never gain it, because they sell pieces of themselves too cheaply. One lie for advantage, one compromise for access, one indulgence for relief. Eventually there is no solid core left to respect. The cost keeps growing. Your mind loses sharpness, because appetite makes poor measurements. A man obsessed with pleasure and allergic to pain cannot judge clearly. Inconvenience as injustice. He calls necessary hardship abuse. He thinks the universe has wronged him because outcomes do not match his cravings. Seneca warned against this softness. Fortune owes you nothing. Nature distributes pain and pleasure without consulting your preference. Mature men accept that. Weak men file a complaint against reality. That complaint poisons everything. You resent discipline because it hurts. You resent truth because it exposes you. You resent duty because it interrupts your comforts. Then you start calling your resentment wisdom.
This is how decline speaks.
Quietly, respectably, in a fitted shirt with a practiced tone, but beneath it is the same ancient failure. A man who cannot govern himself tries to negotiate with the law of the world. He loses every time. The strongest men understood something others still avoid. Nature does not exist to soothe you. It exists to order things according to causes deeper than your cravings. Marcus accepted death, pain, insult, obscurity, and loss as materials. He did not worship them, he used them. That is the difference. Self-reliance starts there. You are unstable because you tied your peace to conditions nature never promised. Health, praise, comfort, status, ease. These are tools in circulation, nothing more. Nature uses both honor and humiliation, life and death, gain and loss. If your mind collapses when one replaces the other, your philosophy is decorative. Epictetus drew the line clearly. Some things are yours, some are not. Your judgments, choices, and conduct belong to you. Outcomes do not. Other people do not. Events do not. Pain does not ask for your consent. So stop building your code around avoidance. Build it around command. Command of speech, command of appetite, command of attention, command of action under pressure. Men talk about freedom while living like servants to sensation. Here is what the self-reliant man understood. Harm begins in the inner court before it appears in the outer world. First he permits falsehood, then he weakens standards, then he rationalizes appetite.
Injures trust, order, and duty.
By the time the damage becomes visible, the corruption has already built a home inside him. Marcus did not beg men to be nice. He demanded alignment with the common nature of rational beings. Do good where you can, do no injury, speak what is true, accept what comes. That is the code. Pain is not proof of evil. Pleasure is not proof of good. Some pleasures rot you. Some pains forge you. Learn the difference through disciplined observation. Not impulse. Second principle. Tell the truth with precision, especially when it costs. A man who protects himself with deception trains himself for cowardice. Third principle. Refuse unnecessary harm. Exploitation stains the user first. Fourth principle. Practice indifference toward externals. Death comes, reputation shifts, money moves, bodies weaken, seasons change. None of this is a personal attack. Nature is using available material according to laws larger than your plans. Fifth principle. Serve the whole through competence and restraint. Marcus said reasonable creatures exist for one another. That means your strength is measured by usefulness and control, not noise. Ask what owns you, then put a knife through it. Speak less, but make each sentence clean. Keep one promise each day that gives you no immediate reward. Remove one indulgence that has been making your judgment soft. Correct one distortion in your speech. Admit one fault without explanation. This is how inner order is built. Repetition, friction, precision, no audience required. And understand this clearly. Chosen isolation means nothing if you carry corruption into solitude. A man alone with no witnesses often meets his actual rank. There is your measure. What do you do when no praise is available? No woman is watching, no crowd can reward the pose, no friend can excuse the lapse. If you still serve truth, still restrain harm, still accept hardship without complaint, then you are beginning to live like a man under law instead of appetite. Most men will reject this because it strips away their favorite excuses. They want strength without service. They want peace without discipline. They want honor while lying to preserve comfort. They want philosophy that massages the ego. Stoicism was never built for that. They cut out delusion so a man could stand straight under reality. So here is the closing steel. When you worship comfort, when you call pain an insult, when you injure others for appetite, you are not bending the rules of life.
You are proving you were too weak to live by them.